Welcome to Positively on the Spectrum, our podcast where we put a positive spin on life on the spectrum. Finding your village and navigating neurodiversity. We aren't experts, but we're in it together.
We sure are. Feel like we've been in the trenches a wee bit lately, haven't
I
we?
know it's been busy.
Yeah.
Easter break,
Yeah.
having the kids at home and trying to keep them happy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Routines out the window.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're back into sort of the swing of things now?
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say I am too.
I was ready for it.
Yeah, me too. I thoroughly enjoyed it, like really enjoyed the time off. But I needed to get my house in order and get back to my own routine as well.
Yeah.
Get washings done, and yeah, it's good. And routine's good for them. Kids
Aye,
thrive off of
definitely.
that kind of thing.
Especially my oldest. You can start to see the longer the when the routine's broken that she starts to become emotionally um she kind of struggles.
Yeah.
So she does, and you know that's what it is. She's needing that bit of structure again.
Yeah.
And routine.
Definitely.
But the wee one, he's too young to even know what day week is. So.
Yeah, no, we definitely happy to be back into sort of routine as well. I think the kids were starting to get bored. There's only so much play time. Luckily the weather was quite good towards the end of the break, which was really good, so we were happy with that, and the weather has continued to be lovely.
I know it's good for us because it means that we can utilize the garden.
Yeah.
And they're safe and they're at home and you're not having to drive far to just to be able to let them burn off a bit of steam.
Definitely, or worry about soft plays. And no, it's definitely takes the pressure off for sure. And even just like the later nights, I mean, my oldest is literally on the trampoline at like 9:30 at night, but it helps regulate her, and then she obviously goes to bed quite tired and sleeps really well, which is amazing for us.
Bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, it's definitely good, but it was good to get back into a bit of routine for all of us. Yeah.
So this week has been a big week for us too.
It has.
Big positive week.
Yeah.
We received our diagnosis for my son. So he now has autism diagnosis. So he had his assessment, and it was actually relatively short because they kind of knew.
Yeah.
It wasn't long and drawn out, is what I'm trying to say. They were actually really great. They recognised that he was starting to kind of get stressed out, and he kept taking me by the hand to the door to leave, and he was starting to get upset. And they'd say, "Look, we've seen enough." So we went away, had a wee break, and let them kind of chat to them and amongst themselves and look over nursery reports and health visiting reports and my obviously statement that I had written or we had written together, me and my husband, and they come back with the autism diagnosis. So it's just another tick box for me in my head that I've got a specialist nursery placement. We also got a speech and language therapist. What you call it, like got given one, allocated one. We've been waiting for that for a good while now. So that starts in a couple of weeks. So that ticked off, and the diagnosis ticked off, and we can just, don't want to say close the book on it because that's not really right to turn a phrase, but I didn't need it because I wasn't unsure.
Yeah.
I knew myself that he was autistic, but obviously it's just one of them things that for me, I just like to have it.
I think as well, a diagnosis is his part of his identity and who he is, and I think that's really important that you've got that for him as well. It'll help to support him and understand himself as he grows too. And I think
it takes away that questionable side of things, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you won't always be with him. So it means that there's something in the world that's official that says he is autistic, therefore certain supports need to be put in place. But like you said, he's already got his specialist placement, so it's almost as if you can kind of just take a breather for now. Your ducks are in a row, you're moving in the right direction, and once he starts after the summer, then
hopefully it just keeps moving.
Things keep moving. Yeah, absolutely. absolutely.
Mhm.
And then eventually you'll be in my position. So yesterday, we found out that my youngest got her P1 placing request. So we applied for a school out of our catchment area because it's a lovely little village school who I believe will be able to fully support her. She doesn't have her diagnosis as yet. We're still waiting. However, professionals and nursery and everybody's kind of on the same page and in agreement that she is on the spectrum. She is autistic, and she's actually been granted access to a PSA in school as well. So it won't be one-to-one, but she will have access to the PSA in the class, potentially with another one or two pupils, which is great because she's very, very clever, um, but she struggles sometimes with the process of being a bit emotional, or if she expects that she should be able to do something and then can't, she really struggles with that. So hopefully that will be in place. But it is something that was a massive relief for us, because if she didn't get the place, obviously I was going to appeal and go through the right avenues and everything. And if she still didn't get it, then my plan was to defer her for a year, which we were able to do based on when she's born. Um, and then I would have done some form of sort of home education, because she could physically stay at nursery, but mentally she couldn't stay at nursery. She's already pushing boundaries, and because she's kind of bored. She's also been there since she was 2 as well, so it's the same environment, same faces, different rooms, but same main faces, teachers and things like that. So she's definitely pushing boundaries.
You see it all throughout primary school as well. If the children aren't being challenged, from my experience anyway, if the children aren't being challenged, their behaviour then becomes an issue.
Yes.
And that's clearly what's happening.
Yeah,
with her.
absolutely. And she's being quite cheeky, and things that she hasn't learned in the home, definitely not. So that's been a bit challenging, but she just needs to be challenged. I mean, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. If I haven't got something to really sort of sink my teeth into, or be getting on with, I struggle. It affects me mentally, and I see so much of myself in her.
Yeah.
Like so much of myself. As a child, like she says things and I'm just like, yeah, that's me.
That's cute.
It is cute, but it's challenging as well. So it's almost that. Yeah, it's almost that like
Wait till she
karma.
gets to my daughter's age.
Yeah.
And,
I was saying that to her dad yesterday. I was like, God help you. God help you, because he's like, I'm just gonna end up stuck in the middle. And I was like, probably.
Yeah, because it's in my situation anyway. It's always me it gets it, and then I have to get my husband to like rein in and go, come on, tell her it's not acceptable to speak to me like that. And it's hard though, because when you look further and deeper into it, you're their safe space.
Absolutely. I was
and
just going to say
why they behave the way they do with you, because they feel safe
Mm-hmm.
and they're not doing it. I know she's not doing it out of nastiness, she's doing it because she's overwhelmed. And I think that's the thing that they say with girls, is the masking at school.
Yeah.
If they do really well in school and they're not causing any bother at school, then at home you can get it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I do think that's the case as well. And
it's learning tips as well, because I've learned not to, when she gets in the car, the first thing you want to say is, how was your day? Did you have a good day? What did you do? Did you eat your lunch? So I've now learned that that's almost like a trigger. You know, it's too much for her to process. She's finally getting into her safe space, and the last thing she needs is being bombarded with questions that she's got to find an answer to. So if the ball's in her court, if she wants to talk, she can talk. If she wants to sit in silence, then she can sit in silence, and I just let her run with it.
So my eldest is the same with that. She comes home and the first thing she does is she'll obviously see everybody in the house, and then she'll take her iPad and she'll disappear upstairs in her room, usually half an hour, maybe an hour. And then she'll come back down and she's ready for a snack or dinner, or so there's certain days, like today, for example, she will have done swimming and PE at school. So that dinner will be on the table when she walks in the door, because otherwise she ends up eating lots of rubbish, and then not rubbish but snacks, and then doesn't
Yeah.
eat her meal, and then she's hungry later. And so it's just getting to know those certain things and triggers, isn't it? And again, like obviously your eldest can verbally express, but actually she may not be able to, because
She doesn't.
Yeah.
There's been loads of times where she's emotionally, she's like myself. She can be quite like she cries a lot, and she'll be like, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why I'm
Yeah.
crying. So although she's verbal, she
Yes.
doesn't actually understand.
And that's the same with my youngest as well. Yep.
That's the side of autism that a lot of people don't see. They just see, how do people call it, high functioning, but whatever term you want to use, they just see hard and masking at school and coping really well in that environment, and being verbal and thinking that she's okay, and realise that she's not. And that's what we have to work on with her. And although there's a big difference in age between my two, they're very similar in a way of like she was the same when she was his age and stuff like that. But now it's a completely different thing with her. Do you know what I mean?
So I think as well. So obviously my eldest is non-verbal, and but sometimes I do think she does express herself better than my youngest, who is fully verbal, fully conversational.
Because they don't know the words to use.
Yeah.
So it's all right saying they've got language, but if they don't know what language to use, then it's frustrating for them.
Well, the youngest will be the first to say, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, you're annoying me, or something like that. So she's able to express that. But then you try and find out why. Yes, that's what it is. And that's what we need to try and help her with. Whereas my oldest, she'll do like an angry stim, and I know instantly what's wrong, which is wild, because you would think that with the lack of verbal language that I wouldn't understand, but actually sometimes I understand more. Also, obviously, I've been her person for nearly 7 years, so we've grown together, whereas the youngest is only 4. And so we're still on that kind of journey. But it's
you
wild,
communicate
isn't it?
differently, don't you? You're looking for body language, you're looking for cues, and you're almost zoned in and tuned into them that wee bit more.
Absolutely.
And it's because we've spoke about in the past being hyper vigilant around them. You can almost anticipate their next move because you know by how their body language is or what's going. Like I knew during that assessment they had a toy that he really enjoyed playing with, and then they couldn't get him to engage in the other toys because he was so hyper fixated on that toy. So they removed that toy, and I knew as soon as they removed that toy, that's him. He'd lost interest in that whole appointment, and that's exactly what happened. But I was sitting there going, okay, well, let's just see what happens now. And then he came to me and took me to the door, and I thought, that's it, you've lost him. And that's just pure being with him and knowing him, and then they need to come to me and say, I'm not playing anymore because she took my toy away, but I knew that's what it was.
Absolutely, yeah. It's wild, isn't it? It's just, and you're so right about, like, obviously when a child is verbal, they might call you from the other room and you'll answer, whereas everything is much more focused and up close and one-to-one when you've got a child who doesn't have the verbal language.
Even like he can be up the stairs and I've got a baby gate on his room door, and I can hear him kicking off, and I know that it's because the baby gate's shut. Or I can hear him, he's kicking off because something, and I'm like, something's stuck. And obviously I can't shout for help or mum or whatever, and I'll go up and I can just tell. And I can just tell by his like moan that that's what it is. It's crazy,
definitely. Like, because even my oldest is the same. There's certain, like, even if she wakes up when she wakes up in the middle of the night, there's a certain noise that she makes, and I'm like, she's not going to go back to sleep.
Yeah, I know as well.
Yeah, there's like a certain, like,
you can hear the high pitch.
Yeah,
like
it's
the
not
pitch of his voice, and I'm like, read up for the night.
Yeah, isn't that funny? And you just know, it's like, so you know not to even.
But it helps me because then I'm like, right, there's no point in me hoping that this is going to be a 10-15 minute settling and back down again. I'm just like, right, that's me.
We're up. Yeah, absolutely.
What's that, 2:15? He's done 4 hours. Yeah. But it's crazy. And it's crazy, but it's amazing.
It's beautiful. I just it really is. Yeah.
We don't give ourselves enough credit, and it's not until you sit and you talk about it like this that you realise how amazing we actually are as parents.
Yeah, because you do. You sort of, it's that tuning in, and it's like on a different level, sort of. Yeah. So yeah, if you're one of those parents, you should be really, really proud of yourself, because it is, and it's a journey. I know we say that all the time, but It really is, because if you look back, I mean, if I look back at where we were a year ago, I could never have imagined that we'd be where we are. So it gives me so much excitement and so much hope for where we'll be like in another year as well. Um, because even though it's slow changes, but I like that it's slow sometimes because you enjoy it so much.
I know, and it's good that we're both in a positive place right now with our kids, but I also acknowledge that there's a lot of people
Absolutely.
who
Yeah.
aren't in a good place at the moment, and when you're in the trenches, it's so hard to imagine life being better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we see you, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
if if you need to chat or shout out, or just because we're in a positive place doesn't mean to say we've always been in a
Yeah.
positive place and
No,
we don't know
absolutely not.
what being in the trenches feels like. We
Yeah.
absolutely do. So if
Yeah.
anybody is in the trenches and
Mm-hmm.
just need somebody to voice to, please just hit our inbox. We'd be more
Yeah,
than happy to
absolutely.
listen.
Yeah. We're on Instagram, TikTok. You can always reach out. The DMs are always
Yeah.
open. And all, like, yeah, they come straight through to us, kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's also that I was actually talking to one of the women at the nursery, one of the teachers at the nursery the other day, about mum guilt.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just got one daughter who's a bit older, and she was like, sometimes I just have to pick my fights when it comes to certain things, and I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. And then you spend the whole day feeling guilty about it, and yeah, and then it's tenfold if you've got two kids, and then if you've got, I still have sort of very intrusive mum guilt that comes through about when my oldest was a baby, and did things that I do affect the way that she is now? Should I have pushed more? Should I have done that? That kind of thing. And it's just, it's always there. It's always there. Like it positively is in our name. But it's just about trying to have that mindset. It doesn't mean that positivity is our entire lives and it's always like that, because it's absolutely not.
It's not.
No.
And from my experiences, when things are hard, I need something. I need to find a glimmer in
Yes.
that. I need to find something to keep me going, to drive me
Absolutely.
back out my trench again. Like, even if it's just a tiny wee small win, that's what I look for to make me think like
Yeah.
we're going to get it.
It's all relative, and it's all about perspective. I think perspective is really, really powerful. And
it's okay. I also said to you the other day, I was feeling, obviously I've been waiting on his appointment coming through for like over a year, and when I finally got that letter in, I thought I would have been like, oh, that's it. I was like emotional, like
yeah.
really, oh no, like wow, I don't know how I feel about this. And I says to you, I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to talk myself out of feeling like this. I'm going to ride it. I'm just
Yeah.
going to let myself feel it. I'm going to let myself feel the way I feel, and tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And I
Yeah.
had one shit day out of, do you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
just went, right, I'm having today and I'm taking today. Feel the way I feel and how my life is, and then tomorrow I'm not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rather than that constant positive, like, you need to snap out your shit.
Yeah.
Because
No, you're feeling
you're suppressing it in my eyes. If I would be suppressing it and it would come up another day. So I'll just have a day where I'm just sad and I sit with it and I process it, and then hopefully the next day I got up and I can
Yeah,
move on.
absolutely. I think that's a really good way of looking at things as well, because you can't
You're always
you
trying
can't
to
run
fix it
from it.
rather
Yeah.
than just trying to
And I'm like,
sit
I'm
with it.
very much a fixer. Like, even if someone comes to me with something, I'm like, oh, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? And I try not to do that, because actually
Sometimes they
it's
just
not
need
helpful.
they just need
Sometimes.
hair, they just need a vent rather
Yeah.
than be hit with, well, can you try us? Can you try us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's an important lesson that I try to teach myself.
No.
You just want to help everybody and make
You
that.
do.
Well, speaking of that, I nearly picked up a hitchhiker the other day.
Did you?
Yes, because I was like, oh, they need help. And then I was like, I've got my 4-year-old in the car. We're literally only going 2 minutes down the road to go to swimming. But I was just like, oh, a hitchhiker. I couldn't believe it. It was a long...
But then if you didn't, it's something I would do if I didn't have the kids in the
Yes.
car and I wasn't putting them at risk. It's
Yeah.
something I would do. You know, like seeing people broke down and stuff like that.
Oh,
Do you know
absolutely,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like you would stop and help, but you've obviously got to assess if you're in a
Yeah.
position to keep your kids safe.
Exactly, yeah, because that's something when I first had the kids, and I was like, oh, I can't be that person anymore. And then especially when you've got children like we've got as well, that they're, a little bit more vulnerable, and Yeah, so but I thought to
So keep a
myself,
good deed for something.
yes, well, that's what it was. I was driving along and I thought, I can't believe I nearly did that. That's just, I would have ended up on the front page of the news. Woman who tries to help people all the time ends up dead by hitchhiker.
Child abandoned. Due to
Oh
good deeds.
dear, yeah. I think it was just the novelty. I was like, oh, hitchhiker. I haven't seen one. Well, I've never seen one in this country.
Right.
I used to see them in Australia a lot, and obviously when I travelled and lived in Europe and stuff. But yeah, that was a first one for the
No, I
books.
don't think I've seen one recently.
He looked like a nice guy too, young guy, had his backpack and everything on. I don't know where he was going because the direction he was going in, maybe to get a ferry or something. But anyway, that's probably a little bit irrelevant. But that was me trying to help people. Maybe gone a little bit too far for a Sunday morning.
But you didn't go too far, you stopped yourself.
Yes, thank goodness.
So let us know if how your week's going, how your life's going, what's happening. Reach out, let us know.
So yeah, Instagram Positively on the Spectrum and TikTok, and obviously this on YouTube.
Yep.
Right.
See
Look
you
after
next time.
yourselves. Bye.
Bye.